Hey Mill City, welcome back to another installment of our series where we're getting to know our leaders here at Mill City Church. And so this week the script has been flipped a little bit and we're putting Chris James in the hot seat. So we're excited to get to hear from you a little bit more. So Chris is our pastor here, and Chris is, well, we'll get to know you a little bit more through a series of questions. So you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, so as we get started, what's just kind of a quick overview about yourself? Something that's really quick.
So something very quick. I am 42 years old. I have lived in Lowell for 18 years now. I started here 18 years ago as a campus minister at UMass Lowell, and you fast forward to today and pastor in Mill City and still ministering to students at UMass Lowell. And I'm looking forward to answering more as we go along. So we'll just leave it at that.
All right, cool. So you've been here for, you said 18 years now. So what are the primary ways that you serve at Mill City?
So the primary ways are I teach and preach on Sunday mornings, of course. I work with our leaders at Mill City, so all of our elders and all of our ministry leaders and our community group leaders, empowering them to be the best leaders they can be to do the work of the ministry. I spend time investing in other men and raising up disciples there, and also just overall just visioning and leading our church into the next steps and into where God's called us.
Yeah. So you've been here longer than Mill City has been a church.
Yep.
So Mill City Church didn't draw you here, but
Nope.
How would you describe the path that led you to being on staff at Mill City Church?
I think it goes back to college, and I've shared a lot of my story at different points, but I don't think everybody knows my story. But I came to faith in middle school, and had a marginal faith throughout middle school. And when I arrived at college, I knew that I didn't want to be a part of the party scene. I had so much dysfunction and had seen so much abuse of substances and things like that in my family. I wanted no part of that scene when I got to college, but I had no idea what I did want to be a part of in college. And so I immediately got plugged into a campus ministry when I was at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And that campus ministry, God used that campus ministry, I've said this so many times, to literally change the trajectory of my life, because it was there that I learned the gospel and how that applied to life, how what evangelism meant, what disciple making meant, what mission around the globe meant. And so that's where that path started, because that's where I was exposed to mission and ministry in other places other than the Bible Belt. And so ultimately what led to me coming to Lowell was I was on a spring break mission trip my senior year of college, and we came to the Boston area where we would prayer walk campuses, and campus ministers were just simply asking, let's pray for a group of 10 students to just start a Bible study on campus. And that just really was staggering to me, coming from a place that was so saturated like the South. And so that was the path that ultimately led me to be in Lowell, and I've been here ever since.
Cool. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but is there anything that you would add as far as, so how did you become a Christian? Like, was that in college? Talk about that.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian home in Mississippi. I was raised by my maternal grandparents, and they had a deeply heartfelt faith in Jesus. I heard them pray all the time. I was not allowed to eat without asking a blessing. I watched my grandmother read her Bible my whole life. And so I really thought I was a Christian by heredity. And because I had brown hair and blue eyes like they had, that I was also a Christian, like they were a Christian. And it wasn't until I was 14 when I started going to church with a friend, and I was in Sunday school. I was going to morning worship every week, and I was hearing the gospel being proclaimed very regularly. But the turning point for me is I was always a studious student. Like I was an A, B student all through elementary school, middle school, and high school. And so I would study a lot. And so when I started going to Sunday school at church, I started treating that the same way. So I would always read my Sunday school lesson. And so I was actually in my bedroom on a hot June night in 1992. And I was reading my Sunday school lesson, and there was a section in the book entitled How to Become a Christian. And I was reading that I was a sinner separated from God, and that Jesus lived perfectly like I was supposed to live, and that he was punished on the cross for my sins, and that he rose victoriously on the third day to conquer death, so that if I would believe and repent from my sins, that I could become one with him and be restored to God. And so I didn't know what everything meant or what this would entail, but right there in that moment, I knelt beside my bedside and I prayed, and I asked Jesus to take control of my life, and I repented and believed, and then the next several years would just be the process of applying that now and trying to figure out what that looked like in my life.
And so now, fast forward a few years. You've been here a few years.
A couple.
So when you look at day-to-day ministry, or you add up, over a few years or over a few months, what are the things that you look back on and you just say, this is why I'm doing this? What brings you the most joy in ministry?
Yeah, and this is going to surprise a lot of people, I think, because I get to do a lot of cool things in ministry, and God has blessed me in ways that I know I don't deserve. I speak in front of people all the time. I speak in front of our church of a couple hundred. I speak at conferences where I'm in front of a couple thousand. I've written stuff. I have stuff in print and publishing. There are a bunch of cool big things that I get to be a part of, but I would trade any of that for the opportunity to sit across the table from another guy or a couple and just simply talk about the word and what that means for their lives, and just answer questions, and just to see the Bible come to life in someone else's heart. And then what really just gets me going ministry wise is then to see them go do that with other people. Everything about the Christian life is supposed to be replicable, right? We're supposed to follow Jesus, and then others are supposed to follow us as we follow him. And so it just really encourages me whenever I give myself and I pass on the word to someone, and then they start passing it on to others.
That's cool. All right, so we're gonna turn a little bit. Let's think about what's something. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be fun. What's something that people would be surprised to learn about you?
How about some things that people would be surprised to learn about me?
Okay.
So one of the biggest misnomers, I am not an extrovert. I am an introvert at heart. Now, I will do what I have to do and what my position calls for me to do when I'm in front of a bunch of people. But when that's over, I just want to go home, and I just want to go into the cave and not come out for a little while. So I'm a huge introvert. I think most people know I'm a really big baseball fan. I've actually been to all 30 Major League ballparks. That took me 15 years to do it, but that's something that's been really cool in my life. I'm a huge Disney fan. A lot of people know that, but some people don't. It doesn't even match. I love baseball over here, but then I love Disney as well. I have my annual pass, and I go as frequently as I possibly can. And really and truly, I really consider myself to be one of the most boring people on the face of the planet. When you just strip away everything that I'm doing, and I have this busy schedule and all these different things going on, most of the time I just want to be at home. I just want to be home and not do anything. And so I think people would probably be a little bit surprised to find out about that.
All right. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but so how about rapid fire? You ready for that?
I'm ready for rapid fire.
All right. We're going to do these as quickly as you can. No thinking, just talking.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. What is the Christian book that's had the most lasting impact on your walk with God?
I think definitely Master Plan of Evangelism by Robert Coleman.
All right. 3 albums you've listened to this week.
Okay, so not an album, but I have an 80s rock ballad playlist. I listen to it a lot when I'm doing chores at home.
Nice.
2, Gaither Vocal Band, Give It Away. And 3, I listened to the 25th anniversary concert of Phantom of the Opera.
All right. That's all very different.
Very different.
All right. Favorite sitcom?
Modern Family.
Favorite TV drama?
Oh, West Wing.
The West Wing.
Best show ever written for TV.
Favorite restaurant?
Chick-fil-A.
Favorite movie franchise?
Ooh. Toy Story.
Toy Story. That's a good one. Preferred free day destination? Hiking in the mountains, chilling at the beach, or shopping at the mall?
Shopping at the mall.
Nice. Hulu, Netflix, or Disney Plus?
Oh, Netflix.
Oh, that surprises me even.
Yeah,
All right.
Netflix.
Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza?
Never.
Never. A meaningful Bible verse for you?
I would probably say Psalm 73. I'm not going to get the exact verse reference, but Psalm 73, whom have I in heaven but you? And there's nothing on earth I desire besides you. My heart and my flesh may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for this week's edition. Hopefully you guys enjoyed getting to learn a little bit more about Chris, and we're excited to keep these videos coming to you. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.